Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. We are back. We are back. The show is called TBR SSF Show, which simply means the TBR Solution Sports Forum. It is myself and Pete, the Man City man. Rekao fella, Sisonke, we are together. Remo, the beat goes on. Pete, welcome to the show.
Thanks,
Sisonke Pete, meaning we are together. On Sesam, yeah. Yeah, Pete,
and morning
just
to the
greet the
viewers.
viewers. Let's take it from there.
Yeah, morning to the viewers. Hope you enjoy the show.
Hopefully, they will enjoy the show because we are trying our best to give them the news. As I was saying, internet has liberated everybody. People can get the news from any angle. And I don't know, people understand the importance of news. You need news in anything. If you don't get the news, nothing is happening. Once they say you are a publicity person, a media person, your job is to give out news. That's very, very important. Pete,
Yes,
um,
sir.
today, big one, big one. Last week we were doing why the PSL did not postpone their games to give the CAF Champions League a maximum exposure. I got a very huge response for that one, which is good. But now, on the other hand, I saw the news that I think somewhere up in the north, they are unable to complete their program. So they have now moved to the next part of the year. All right. So
Sure.
simultaneously, as much as we're raising that, I think legitimately so, or correctly so, which was raised by Peter de Todt, because Peter de Todt's argument was, what difference will it make if you shift all the games to Sunday? See, that was carrying weight. But having seen what they said, a league somewhere in the north, they could not complete. And remember, sponsors, they work with timelines, they work with budget. Alison was a director while he was still employed. She will tell you better. When I say Alison, people might not understand, your wife, basically. She will tell you better why timelines are important, linked to money. You miss one
I'm
day,
sure.
there is a problem. So on that score, it means they've done well, but one day we don't have break-in. But that's not the topic today. I want you to add a little bit because you are not there when we talk that one.
Well, if one thinks about it, the sponsors would probably have agreed to the actual league program and the exposure that league program would provide to them. In other words, they would get their maximum bang for their buck, as it were. There. So if you want to move things around, then maybe you need permission from all those sponsors that are in the league there. Maybe that's a little bit of a dilemma for the league to do such a thing. But we never know. But I agree. I would have liked, thinking about it, that everybody's eyes would have been on the final today, or the first leg of the final at least today.
This is what you guys are doing in England, okay? When there's a FA, everything stops. People watch FA.
Well, that's
You see.
as you see, last Saturday was the FA Cup final. I'm very sad over that with the result.
I'm sorry about that.
And now we have to do it the hard way to qualify for Champions League. But all the league programs there was no league program on that Saturday. They did move those games to the Sunday, and so it is possible. It is possible. Yeah,
I'm sure they should have just done that. Well, unfortunately, it was not done the way we expected. But Pete, we are talking Champions League, which is the CAF Champions League. Lead me as far as concerned. I want to hear from you what's happening, so that at least as we talk, I know what are the issues. Now, here is a game between Pyramids and Mamelodi Sundowns, first game for that matter, and first leg. Let me start here, Pete. If you're a manager Would you prefer to play first leg at your home ground, or would you say I'd rather play away? Re- remembering away goal rule.
Yes. Well, if you compare that to UEFA, they've done away with the away goals rule now, but I see it still stands in the CAF.
Mm,
So, but if one answers the question, I
mm,
think you can start your. I would prefer a home leg first,
mm, mm,
because
mm,
then you can establish a good start, a basis or a foundation on which to take to the second leg.
mm,
But it
mm,
does have its risks as well, because if you
mm,
get beat at home,
mm,
then you go to the other side there, and then you've got to perform in front of their crowd.
mm,
And
mm,
we all know that sometimes those crowds can be less than welcoming.
mm,
So
mm,
yeah, for me personally, I think a home leg is preferred at first, which Sundowns have at the moment. So
mm.
yeah,
But
that's what I.
while you're still there, Pete, what's your
Yeah.
take when the English decided to do away with this away goal rule? What's your take? Was the away rule good for excitement, or do you think it was a good decision by them? I want to hear
Hmm.
your opinion. I'll also tell you my opinion.
I think it was introduced to make things more exciting.
Mm,
But
mm,
if you really think about it, at the end of the day, the aggregate score, if it's 3-3,
mm,
you know,
mm,
is it really fair? Whether that's maybe you were 3-1 down, and then you bring it back 2 goals, and then you've lost on that away goal rule.
mm,
Um, I'm in favour of actually removing the away goal rule. If I'm honest with you, I think
mm,
I think you've got to have a clear score for
mm,
me.
mm,
There has to be a clear winner.
mm, mm, mm. I'll tell you where I'm coming from. I enjoy the away goal rule. I've seen what it has done. If you remember the game between PSG and Barcelona, 6-5,
Mm.
whereby, what's the name, the young man, the midfielder from,
Pernicious.
the midfielder from Barcelona who scored in the sixth goal
Uh,
after Neymar has done a lot of work on that day. And when
oh,
everybody was mopping Messi, correctly so, he
mm,
said, I don't think you are mopping the right person. Neymar has done a lot, guys. And I
mm,
think you should go to Neymar. What was the name of the player? I forgot. Yeah, maybe you should go to. That was exciting. That's one. Another game
sure.
between Liverpool and Barcelona game. Barcelona leading 3-1 or something. They went to
Mm-hmm.
Anfield. That's where you saw away goal rule being very exciting. That's my opinion, being very
Mm.
exciting. So I don't know. What do you say about what I've just said? Welcome, Thabiso. Welcome to the show,
Thank you.
Fella. Okay. Yes.
Welcome to Thabiso. Um,
Thank you. Thank you.
as I said, it does. I think it does contribute to the excitement a little bit there, but at the end of the day, 3-3 is 3-3. It's not. It's not 4-3. It's yeah. I'm in favour of it the other way around, if I'm honest. Yeah.
Okay.
But we have Thabiki now who can maybe weigh in on that subject.
Thabiso, Mamelodi Sundowns are starting at home. I was asking Peter, which one is the best? Maybe in the shoes of Mamelodi Sundowns, would you prefer to start at home or you would prefer to start away? Remember the away rule. Now in England, they've just done away with the away rule. That's what Pete is telling me. Remember, Pete is our English specialist. Now, then I was asking, which one does he like? Away rule, away goal rule, or you don't like it? What's your take? Where do you find yourself here? Was
Um,
away
um,
rule a good thing or a bad thing? Which one do you don't?
for me, I think. Good morning to the viewers. Good morning to yourself
Morning.
and Peter again. For me, I don't like the rule of the away goal rule. I think it's a bit of unfair. But for me, if here in Africa we're still applying it, I think we should starting at home is the best way. I mean, starting away is the best way. Coming at home, knowing that in the first leg you try to maybe score an away goal and stuff. So for me, Sundowns here must really work hard at least to try and defend that. Pyramid must not score here, must not score away from home, because once they score away from home, you're going to have a problem in the second leg. So for me, I think that rule should be scrapped all in all for me, according to me.
No, let's set aside the patriotism and I'm asking a question. Who do you think will win, Pete? Mamelodi Sundowns or Pyramid? Fairly so.
Over the 2 legs, are we talking about today's first leg? I think today's first leg, I think we're looking at maybe 2-0.
2-0.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the overall. I'm not familiar with Pyramids and how they play away. At home. So that's a bit of a surprise, I think, coming there maybe.
Thabiki, what's your take?
For me, I've been watching Pyramid, I think, for the last 3 seasons, from when they were playing in the CAF Confederations Cup, challenging Al Ahly in the league. I think they are very strong. We can count them amongst the best teams currently here. But for me, I'd go with maybe Sundowns 1-0 because they're playing at home. They'll be stronger. But I cannot say who's going to win the tournament or the cup all in all. But for me, I think I'll give it to Sundowns today. Maybe 1-0 or 2-1. Because Pyramid always have a goal. Because for me, Pyramid always has a goal in them. They play like a team. They play like they want to score always. Even when they played Orlando Pirates, at home here, you can see this team wanted to win from the first minute. So for me, I'd give it to Sundowns 2-1 today.
We'll give to Sundowns 2-1 today.
Yes.
And then, okay, fine.
That away goal could be problematic, yeah?
Pardon?
That away goal could be problematic, yeah.
Very problematic.
Yeah.
In fact, Sundowns today, they shouldn't allow any goal to come in. But if you look at Sundowns, you've got Ronan Williams, who's exceptionally well at the back.
Good goalkeeper.
But now my worry with Sundowns, I don't know whether I've noticed. I don't know whether they'll play Musa Libusa. The height is a problem. And when I watch Pyramid specializes with the height. And Pyramid goes to the wide and bring the crosses. And that's where Sundowns is having a problem. The absence of Mvala might be very detrimental. I don't know whether he'll be playing. Is he back from injury and so on? So that's a little bit worrying. The young Kekana, yes, very good defender. Also, sorry about that. Let me sip something. And then that's what I'm looking at. I don't know. Your analysis of the team, Thabiso, Sundowns, what's your take?
With Sundowns, you can never know who's going to play. But then we know that they're in the midfield, Tebogo is going to be there. At the front also, you can never know whether they're going to play Shalulilo or Reines, But whoever they're going to play, just know that you're going to be playing what you call Shushan and Piano, good football. That's what you're going to see. So at the back, I think they might spring a surprise bringing Toby Mvala, because he's been on the bench for some time, but I think he's still from the injury. But then in terms of form, I think they must play Libusa today, just because maybe we don't know, maybe about game time from Vala. His legs maybe will be a bit heavy and stuff. But for me, whoever they're going to play is going to perform for Mamelodi Sundowns either way.
What about the element? Yes, Pete?
So do you agree, Thabiso, with the fact that they're a little bit short at the back, with their current team, and that that maybe that could be the height could be a problem for them?
Could be the
Yeah. I also agree with that, because you know how they play, how the Egyptians play. the pyramid play. They'll also use height against Mamelodi Sundowns. So I think Mamelodi Sundowns will also use tall players against them. So, or maybe to try and defend to try and counter against what Pyramid will bring to them today.
How would you defend? How would you defend this height problem then? How would you defend
Height problem.
against it?
You also put high players and then try and cut what you call set pieces, making a lot of set pieces, cutting their what you call supply. Maybe in that way you'll try and cut them going forward using their height against you. But however, you have to put tall players also.
How about tactically? I saw Sundowns sometimes. They sometimes get carried away. They go in and press, okay, and then they are then scored with a counter. When they were playing the very same pyramid, one of the goals that was very decisive was scored that way. They normally press, and when they press, they leave spaces behind. Are you not worried about that? Anyway?
I think that's how you really have to beat Sundowns. Once Sundowns presses, you just know at the back there's a big hole because you might find out that they're playing with maybe, let's say, two natural defenders in the team. All of the other players are like their mentality is just to attack. So obviously, when you are good at the back, you can always take in the pressure and then get them on the counter. You must make sure that one chance you get, you score against them because the ball will always be with them. Just know that you'll always be defending, and then the ball is going to be difficult for you to get. So that's how you really have to beat Sundowns. You let them press you and then get them on the counter.
Yeah, how do they counter them, Pete? Now, Sundowns also have Shaulile and Ingram Reyners. Reyners is on form, is scoring goals. Shaulile, I saw a few games now. He's starting to, and normally the coach would start him on the bench and bring him later. Are you saying that's what the coach should do again this time and say, let me start Shaulile on the bench and bring him later?
Sure, that's a tough question. I mean, it's all depends upon your opponent that you're playing and what are their tactics as such there. So this is the key, and I can only relate that to last week's FA Cup final. If you look at the stats and what have you, exactly to Thabiso's point there, it was press, and we got caught on the break a couple of times. One was disallowed, unfortunately, there. But if you one looks at the stat, the control was in Man City's, in their hands, but they didn't use it. So from the local perspective, well, I think the key players for me would be Ribeiro, for example, as a forward, and then obviously Mokoena. He's going to be in the midfield there, and I think tactically you don't want these guys to score because of this offside rule. So it's a combination of, do you press too hard and leave at the back like you suggested, or do you play a more controlled game, packing the midfield there, making sure that these guys can't come through, and rely upon your strikers to do their thing there?
It's a very difficult one because Sundowns need to do a balancing act. They need to score. They need to score. At the same time, they need to close. All right. So where do you go? Now you've got Mshishi. Mshishi is back. We know that Mshishi, when playing with the team from the north, is devastating. And the teams from the north, they know Mshishi. And good enough, the coach has introduced him slowly. I mean, I'm referring to Mshishi, has introduced him slowly, and then so maybe you'll play him today. And then I hear Pete says Ribeiro. Now you'll have Ribeiro, you have Mshishi, you'll have Allende. You know what? Allende, yes, he does go back and mark. And Mshishi is also goes back and mark, and Ribeiro. But now you have too many ball players in the middle of the park. Now the thing is, who scores? Reyners, or do you want to play Reyners both with Shaulile where do you feature Jay Adam, who has been doing very well ever since he joined Mamelodi Sundowns? So those are some of the challenging questions that the coach has to deal with. And then we wish them good luck. And then,
I'm glad it's not my job. I'm glad it's not my job.
Yeah. Pete, that's it today. But our heart is South African. We wish Mamelodi Sundowns to win. And remember, when they win, it's not only the prize. How much is the prize, Pete, of the Champions League?
We're not sure of the exact amount that will be payable this season, but last season the prize money was $4 million, which is equivalent to about 80 million rands for the champions.
80
and
million.
half that for the and about 40 million for the runners-up. So it's a decent prize money. And so obviously, then you qualify for the Club World Cup. So the incentive is really there to win it.
Which is a very good carrot. Qualifying for Club World Cup, that means you are being awaited by a billion rand. If the reports are true, by just qualifying. All right. Now, Pete, having said that, Mamelodi Sundowns have dominated our football, but it's not only because they just dominated. Mamelodi Sundowns have spent a lot of money. I'll be sharing the slides with you, Pete. In buying players, you'll give me the figures that they've spent, and then tentatively the rumor says they spent about 50 billion. Mamelodi Sundowns per annum, and then now, so the results are not a fluke. So now this leads me to a fair play, Pete, which was not part of our discussion. That should we look at fair play, and then because if this doesn't stop, it's gonna continue, whereby Mamelodi Sundowns will dominate the local football. And then I don't know. What's your take, Pete?
Well, it was introduced by UEFA in Europe there for to actually make the club sustainable. We had this conversation some weeks ago, and it basically you're not really over a 3-year period. You're not really supposed to spend more than you earn within that period. Although there are some allowances for you to go a little bit over here and there. And I think it's not, we don't want dominance in any league. So we want to try and make things competitive. So if there's a level playing field, I think it might give other teams the chance to, to compete. Because if you really think about it,
I'm sure you don't see what I'm doing here. So repeat, you don't see what I'm doing here, ne? You see that?
No.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm listening, Pete.
Okay, you were saying the sponsors. There's rules around the sponsorships as well. That it has to be there's a benchmark or something like that they do a comparison with. So I'm not sure how it's worked here and how they say. I don't think there's any rules on the sponsorships here, to my knowledge.
No, sponsorship deservedly so. They must get what is worth. Sponsors must pay. There's no problem. I don't think people are worried about that. For me, that's my understanding. I don't think people are worried about the sponsorship, who earns what, and so on. How much, as you can see on the screen there, Pete, that they are making 620 million.
620 million rand.
Yeah. As per sponsors. You know what? It would have been very exciting if if our bosses can be more transparent with information. All right. Because I think I have a different understanding of information. There are two ways of dealing with it. Sometimes you give too much information. People think that you have a lot of money, then they start robbing. Do you understand? But the mere fact that people are spending their hard-earned money to go to the stadium, to go and watch. You are no more entitled to that privacy as such. We share with you. We need to know. And I see, and big up to the English teams and European teams. They share, they tell us that this guy, we bought him for so much, and this is how much he's going to get. And you know what? That at least tells us, you know. And I know people might say, no, this team is owned by me, so why you want to know? I don't know. What's your take on that argument?
Well, also as part of the UEFA fair play rules, you have to declare your financials, basically, which will say how much you received on sponsorship, how much you spent on players, what are your wage bills, etc., etc. So that's for public viewing eventually. So I think the transparency that you were looking for, you know, you would see it there.
Yeah, well, those are some of the
but
things.
You've got you have a point though with regards to a certain amount of privacy that should be available to the teams.
Yeah, not only to the teams, to the society, and big up to Mamelodi Sundowns. We said they are spending 6.2 billion as 620 million. All right, and then that information that I shared, you saw it, or should I go back to it? They've spent about 320 in buying players. Do you get that, Thabiki? They've spent about 320
That's big money.
In buying players, and now 300. They spent about 600, and they've break it down here. Ubuntu gives them 200 million per annum. Well, this is subjected to verification. They'll tell us whether it's not true or what. Give what is available. Hence, I'm saying give information so that people don't speculate. But probably it's closer to the reality. I don't know. And then Cherry, they said they gave them 110 million, Puma 90 million, Red Bull 60 million, EA Sports plus minus 40 million, and then Biogen 45 million, total 620 million. All right. And now, having spent this much, they win the league for how much? For 20 million.
There's no real comparison there, is there, really, at the end of the day? If you look at the prize money there.
Okay, yes, Pete, say sorry. My wife always said, hey, you can't these people. Yeah, go on.
No, Pete. Just say if you look at the sponsorships, etc., 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 and then you look at the prize money for the league, of 20 million, it seems a little bit minimal.
And now, if they spend 620 million per annum, and the good news is Sundowns, by qualifying for the Club World Cup, we are told that they netted 1 billion rand. So this is
just for qualifying.
Yeah, this is good for money for me. I don't know. Sure. This is good for money because 320 plus 620, all right? They've spent 320, which went out. 620 is the money that was coming in, and then they got plus minus 1 billion. And I'm saying this because both Chiefs and Pirates can afford this. If the reports are true in terms of the sponsors that they enjoy. You see where I'm coming from when I say the information should be allowed to flow so that we see what's happening. Pete, you can just move because very soon you've got 4 minutes to finish up. Give me the story about the fair play linked to what we're talking about.
Okay, where did we say? What do you want to know now? The penalties.
Whichever rule that is there, if you can give it.
Okay, so very briefly.
Yeah.
Okay, it's financial. There's regulations around financial sustainability regulations. And then I think we touched on that one where you've got three years, to prove that you don't spend more than you earn, etc., etc. And then in the Premier League itself, there's specific regulations known as the PSR, Profit and Sustainability Rules. So clubs need to ensure that they aren't recording losses greater than 105 million, or about that's pounds, or about 137 million across their combined accounts for the previous 3 seasons. 90 million, or about $170 million, must be covered by secure funding, meaning clubs can lose up to 15 million, or about 19 million US dollars of its own money every 3 years, etc., etc. So, and they tell you what you can spell it on there, but maybe you should share the link with the viewers on what I'm reading here.
Yeah.
Also, Premier League punishments for adhering to the PSR rules. Points deductions. The most recent one being Everton, that were deducted 10 points. I think it was last season, if my memory right. But after an appeal, it was reduced to 6. And now, obviously, my team, Man City, are being charged with 115 alleged breaches of the profit and sustainability regulation.
Sorry, Pete.
Yeah.
While you're still there, I realize that the link is giving me a problem. So you must just explain. Yeah. Sorry.
Okay. Okay. What do you want me to explain?
No, I'm saying you wanted me to share the link. Look at that.
Oh, right. Okay. All right. Fair enough.
Give me a problem.
Well, maybe we can look at that a little bit later. Okay. Possible punishment to adhere to the financial sustainability regulations from UEFA perspective. They can reprimand or give you a warning. They can issue a fine. They can withhold of revenue from UEFA competitions. They can stop you from registering new players for UEFA competitions. They can put restrictions on how many players a club can register for UEFA competitions. They can disqualify a team from competitions already in progress, and they can actually exclude from future competitions. So you can see it's quite harsh. But then there's the other side of the fair play rules. They also give awards, best fair play awards. So, for example, in 1987, the best fans in all competitions were Dundee, and they were awarded a prize for that. From a player perspective, in 1988, Frank Odenwitz of Germany was given a prize. And more recently, in 2024, Tijo Mala for volunteering during the Rio Grande do Sul floods. He was doing some good work there. Yeah, so there's many. They are also the awards. It's not just the sanctions. Yes, sure.
Yeah, so I will watch the space speed, and then so those are some of the news as far as that is concerned. Because as much as it's football, but we need to start educating our people. Pete, I know that you are rushing somewhere. And then a quick one, just tell us about what's happening in the English Premier League. Also looking at your team per se, what's happening, as far as Man City for Champions League qualifiers.
Well, I always try to give our neighbours a little bit of a say there. So if you really thinks about the last week, City lost the FA Cup final, and then obviously they don't qualify now. And then Man United lost the Europa League final, and they now don't qualify. And they've got no chance of actually qualifying for any European competitions this year, which is for United is a big deal. But anyway, coming back to the focus on tomorrow's games, the main focus being a Champions League qualifier, which will be the top 5 teams. The contenders being City on 68 points, Newcastle on 66 points, Chelsea on 66 points, and Aston Villa on 66 points. And as an outsider, Nottingham Forest on 65. But I think that's highly unlikely. In terms of my team, Man City, they need a point. If they get a point, I think that'll secure their place. But if City lose, and in the unusual event, if Newcastle, Chelsea, and Aston Villa win, City will not qualify. So what are the fixtures today? Newcastle versus Everton. Everton have been coming back as a resurgence. So they're actually not an easy team to beat anymore. So Newcastle at home to Everton. My prediction there is that Newcastle will win 2-1 there. And then you got Nottingham Forest versus Chelsea. I've got that for a draw because I think, I think Nottingham Forest is also a very difficult team to beat at home. And then the game for me, my interest there is Fulham versus Manchester City. That's away, obviously. Difficult team, difficult fixture. I've got Man City to take a 1-0 win there. And then Man United versus Aston Villa. I think Aston Villa are going to be a little bit too strong for them. So I'm seeing maybe United going down 2-1 there. And I stand to be corrected there. But should those results go as I've predicted them, then obviously Man City will qualify, Newcastle will qualify, and I think Chelsea will lose out. So we watch with bated breath. I thought last weekend that my prediction would be that City would win the FA Cup. So we love the competitive league that is the Premier League, and we'll watch and see what happens.
Pete, parting shot.
Yes, sir.
Man United.
Yes, sir.
This is a big blow for them not to qualify for the Champions League. And then I don't know how I'm going to sum up the decade for Man United. We have been mocking Kaiser Chiefs. They've won a trophy now.
Yeah,
so,
sure.
I don't know whether you want to. I know you guys are rivalry with Man U. Do you want to summarize, what's happening with Man U? I mean, the fact that they don't qualify for the Champions League, it's big money. They lose a big money.
Yeah.
Big up to Arsenal. I think they need to win their next game. You know what? Big up to the Premier EPL, because when I look at the teams, all of them, they played equal numbers. Yes, even our leadership here, Ivan Koza and his team, they need to be commended. Remember, some of the problems were not of their own making, with the team like Mamelodi Sundowns playing too many competitions, and that is why they could not catch up. But I think they've done their very, very, very well, okay? So, when I was looking at the log of Premier League, I was so impressed. It was all 37. All of them are left with one game. That's an achievement. I don't know whether people understand that for business, for the budget, because they've budgeted that this money must be finished. Those who are in politics, they know very well. If you didn't use your money, it will be returned to you. And it has an impact. Next time you don't get the money, they're going to cut your budget. So people need to understand the impact of this. So well done to the English. But in any case, they are the guys who started football. It's important to see them leading. Unfortunately, they haven't won the World Cup or the Euro Cup. I still want to see them doing that, because it's an indictment for the country that started football. It's the same thing that we were saying about Messi. Messi has done a lot. If he doesn't win anything, it becomes something, an indictment. I don't know. I don't know what's your take there, Pete.
Well, on the Messi story, the rumor that he's maybe going back to Barcelona on loan, is it not?
Yeah. We heard it. But you know what? The good thing about that, Pete, is David Beckham. I don't know what to say about him. He's not a modeler only, but it looks like there are brains there. But you tell me more. Maybe you know better than me about the story of David Beckham.
He listens to his wife, which is a very big businesswoman in her own right, that lady. It's
That
not
lady,
just
yeah.
David Beckham that earns the money, eh?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, he listens to his wife. So I think she is the brains behind the engine room, as it were, there for the Beckhams. They're both doing really well financially. And yeah, just making the right moves, eh?
And credit to Victoria. Remember, he left Spice Girls while they were there to go and stay with Beckham and ensure that he manages him. As you tell me that allegedly is the brains behind. Because what I like about Beckham, it's everything's about psychology. It's about understanding the mind of a person. He said, we would like to keep Messi beyond 2026. Remember why? World Cup is going to America. And very soon they will be unveiling their new stadium. And Messi is the only guy who fill up the stadium. Ronaldo is struggling big time. It's like he will go to Besiktas. I don't know whether you've seen that. And then Solskjaer is courting him to go there. And now, for Messi to stay at MLS, it's good for everybody. It's good for Apple. It's good for MLS as a league. It's good for America and so on. And then, and then he said, this is David Beckham. We are prepared to let Messi to belong to Barcelona. He said, I know his heart is there. And I want him to go back and bid a proper farewell. How clever is that? As a coach, you deal with the mind more than anything else. So that for me, that was a telling statement. If that is the wife who advised him there, big up. Yeah.
Maybe not that one. Yeah.
I don't know.
But I think he needs to be. I think he needs to be giving some advice to Man United now. Yeah. Not that they would take it.
You know what is worse? He wanted to buy Man United. And they rejected him. Remember, Beckham loves Man United. You know what I like? What I like about Beckham? He's an Englishman through and through. He loves Man United. He's an English guy. At some point, I don't remember the knighthood, that knight thing. Explain BSA and all that. At some point, there was a. Is he now a sir now? Just explain that as an Englishman. That knighthood. What's happening with that?
Because I've not been in contention for it, so I don't understand it completely.
Just do a bit of research about that, because at some point, especially on Beckham, and then apparently they were like, there was a debate, why should he get it and so on. But he has moved the mountains. If really that's serious.
But he didn't get it, did he? He didn't actually
get it. Get it. Just do a bit of research about that. Maybe next week or Tuesday when we talk, we can touch on that one in passing. Thabiki, welcome back. I know we are talking something Greek to you. Because you are
I'm learning.
You are a local guy. We are going there. Pete, I don't know. I can release you if you are ready to leave. And then
I need to go,
if there's anything that you want to share, and then if not, you are more than welcome to. But thank you so much, man. It's difficult. I can see at least the sun is there.
So it's still cold though, eh?
I see that. I see with your jacket. Look at my jacket. It tells the story.
Exactly.
Thank you so much.
I just hope we're not going to get a cold reception at Fulham today, but my team. But we will see.
Why a cold reception? Because of
in other words, not because of the opportunity for them to beat us and keep us out of the Champions League there. But I think it's unlikely if you look all three teams to win and City to lose.
You know what?
I think the odds are slightly in Man City's favour. Yeah.
The other thing that dampened my spirit was Southampton to be relegated. They were playing.
They played nice football.
They were playing very well 3, 4, 5 years back. Very competitive. At some point, they were looking like they would qualify for the Champions League. I was saddened when I look at that. I said, nah, this is, it's unfair. So they nearly relegated Chiefs. Thabiki, it's your turn now. Pete.
Maybe we can look at. I just want to say cheers to the guys, but maybe we can also look at the potential newbies coming up from the championship.
Yeah,
Leeds United, I think Sunderland, and I'm not sure who the other one is. I think it's Coventry. I'm not. No, it wasn't Coventry. But we can look at the people coming to the Premier League next week, possibly, and maybe have a discussion on what their potential impact, if any, can be on that Premier League and how well they may do.
And then the League One, are they still playing?
I think it's finished now.
It's finished.
I think it's actually finished now. Yeah, they were.
Let's
Sunderland won the final of the playoffs there. So I think that's normally after the season. Yeah.
Let's touch on it maybe on Tuesday.
Yeah.
In passing.
Okay.
But before you leave, I wanted to show you this Mamelodi Sundowns. This is, I don't know whether this is an envisaged village, because I'm not far from Stirrup. They're just 5-10 minutes away.
I know exactly where they are. Yeah, in Stirrup.
Maybe I need to go and pass there, because it wasn't looking like this. Thabiki,
not at all.
Have you seen it? No, your mic is closed. I must just go and pass and see, because I know they. But if this is an envisaged picture, that's good. That's good. Gabrielo.
I think that's what they're going to build soon. Because I passed there also. I think a month ago it wasn't looking like this.
No.
So I think
I'm a Thomas. I'll pass there. Thomas.
Yeah.
Thomas wants to see it first before he believes it. So I'm Thomas. I'm gonna pass there. Pete, thank you so much, man. Let me just.
Cheers, viewers.
Cheers, Pete. Yeah, see you again on Tuesday.
On Tuesday.
Yes, cheers. Bye.
Yeah, thank you, Pete.
Yeah.
Thabiki.
Bye.
Thanks, Pete.
Yes.
Thabiki. Let's move on.
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, let's move on to remember we are doing we are a financial company, and then we are trying by all means at all times to share knowledge. That is why as I talk, I always link what we do in terms of financial impact, so that people can understand what is it at stake in terms of financial impact. And that financial knowledge is very important. You need to teach yourself. And then things are not looking good for our country. You know what? It looks like we are going to hit recession. And then some people they're saying it might not only be recession, it might also lead to depression. So depression is a very, very strong one as compared to recession. But Thabiki, as much as I know, things are tough. People don't make money. I don't know how many people that I've met. I met one guy, a friend of mine, saying, "Hey man, just give me 50 rand there." And was it 50 rand or 100 rand? I'm going somewhere. And then I saw how, I said, no, it's real tough. There's no money. There's no money. And then remember, the budget has not been passed. And then that's another thing that tells you that things are real tough. So my advice would be, when things are not working, learn as much as you can in terms of financial matters, and then understand, and then one of those books that I wrote is called How to Get Out of Bad Debts, Use Other People's Money and Resources to Get Rich. And then, because it's a management of how, remember your creditors, if you owe them, they'll keep on calling you and stuff like that. But the other thing that I want to advise people, you must educate yourself. You must read the National Credit Act, understand what does it say in terms of debt and stuff like that. And when you are being called, look at the conditions for the debt collectors. Because, for instance, I'll give you information. Thabiki, they're not supposed to call you on weekends. It's wrong. And they're not supposed to call you outside hours. It's wrong. all right? It must be during office hours, all right? So you need to know that. Don't run away from them, but take them by saying, no, 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 why call me on weekend? Because they know that I won't get him, but weekend will get him. So, and they do that. The very same people are doing, they also have problems on their own, but they talk with you as if they own. I'm not saying people should default, but you need to know your rights. So those are some of the things that you need to understand and deal with them. And then education is key. So this is the book that you can get. And then here's another one by Nomsa Masbugo, Entrepreneur Awakening with a Drive. Learn how Nomsa did it. As I always say, that Nomsa runs a number of companies, but one of the leading company is the Visit Vagasha, which is his guest house. It's got about 100 rooms. So if you want to go there, very nice place. I've slept there many times with my wife. A very nice place. It's a 3-star classification, but the service there and the way it looks like is a 5-star. All right. And then that's Nomsamas Google. And then the other one is this one, How to Win the Wealth Game by Darlene Small, Dr. Darlene Small, The Art of Money. So learn. This lady works for the Reserve Bank for 33 years. Just go and learn and understand for somebody who's got that much experience of the Reserve Bank. And then the first book that I wrote is this one, Secrets for Becoming Rich, which you can get it in first and second edition. This is the second edition. And then you can get it from us by simply dropping us a WhatsApp to say, please call me, we'll therefore call you. And then you'll find us anytime. And then this one, I know people love this one, how I turned 500 Rand into a 1,000,000 Rand business. That book will teach you. One guy called me, Tendareshala, I heard you speaking on radio. I've got 500 Rand now in my pocket. How do I turn it into a million? I said, no, 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 no. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. Go and read the book. How did I do it? And it takes a while, a lot of sweat. That's why I fight with Thabiso and say, you need to work. If you don't work, you'll never make it. It's not a joke. It's not a fluke. It's an honest truth. If you don't work, it will, you are not going, you'll keep on blaming other people as if they owe you something. No one owes you anything. All right, you must make things happen yourself. Thabiki, we're talking about Masandawana, and then we're talking about fair play. We touched on many subjects today. I think it was a very good show. And then maybe you need to bid the viewers farewell. If there's anything that you want us to say, or do you want to say something?
Thank you very much. Hey, today is Yakala. Yamakusa sinking in.
Top 81,
Kaizer Chiefs are playing Polokwane City today. It's a must win for them. They need to qualify for the top 8. If they don't win, I see trouble there for Nabi also, because as Jessica Mtaung said last week, they're going to do a review on him, on how he performed, on how the players performed. So Zizo Kala, if he doesn't get into the top 8, so he needs to qualify for the top 8. And then good luck to them anyways. Good luck to them. I hope they qualify so that we can play either Sundowns or Pirates next season, fresh with maybe new players, fresh-minded again. So good luck to them on the game versus Polokwane City. And again, good luck to Masandawana versus Pyramid. I hope they bring it home, but it's still the first league anyway. So what happens, what's going to happen. So also congratulations to our under-20 team for bringing the Nations Cup home also. Good luck. Congratulations to them. And then good luck for the future to those boys who won it. And then they're also going to the World Cup in Chile later in September, if I'm not mistaken. And then another thing also, I wanted to share something with you guys, but it has slipped my mind, but it's okay. I'll share it through the social media. It's fine. And then again, thank you very much for the lovely show. Please guys, keep on commenting and subscribe on the show, keep on liking our show, and thank you very much.
o tsofala nna Thabiki mara o lebala wena.
Ke mathata, man.
Tsufe. I
Mathata.
was talking to a friend of mine. Kremon, ur kilebetse. Kremon na ki age ra tsofala re so skachuralo. Akiba kidare. I said, my leader, you are not going to run away. It's going to happen. Whoever thought
it's part of nature. It's part of nature.
No, Sobra, I don't want that. I don't want that. I'm going to run away. Yeah, so now funny, I get old Kwena Lebalang. And Thabiki, we also educate people, we mentor people, and then they can join our mentorship program. Drop us a WhatsApp, and then we'll assist you. Not only that, there are those who have been tricked by the scrupulous debt counselors to say, look, I'm going to give you a debt consolidation, not debt counseling. And then come, and then the next thing a person is under debt review. And guess what? Debt review, there's nothing wrong about it. But they shouldn't lose clients with wrong information, okay? There's nothing wrong with that review, because one thing for sure, people that they don't understand, it helped to stop the legal action. They won't repossess your house or a car. Just imagine you get a letter from the lawyers, they say we want to repossess your car, or you get summons. Where can you go without paying money, sign a form, and then they stop? Debt counseling, okay? And then the debt counsel will start engaging. If you want those services, come to us. If you want to clear that status which you were tricked to go to or put next to your name, come to us. If you have blacklisting, judgment, and so on, come to us. Thabiki, thank you so much. And thanks to the subscribers, I see they are growing, the numbers are growing. The last show did very well in terms of views. I hope even this one will do well. And then like Thabiso says, please, if you want to have some recommendation, how do we have to improve, please share with us. You'll see the WhatsApp number. Thabiso, re kaofela, re mmoho, sisonke, rotle, singwe, on se sam. The beat goes on. Thank you.